on the last episode of Project Prelude. The absolute worst thing that could have happened. Now, it's been making a squealing noise for like the past week or so. I've been ignoring it like an asshole. It finally bit me in the ass. Timing belt has snapped. This is a brand new timing belt. Just from looking at the belt, it seemed like I may have had it too tight, or the actual adjuster that I ordered had failed. When I was doing this timing install, the adjuster fitment wasn't the best, but I did get it good enough to where I was able to tension it properly and everything looked fine, but the fitment was not the greatest. So I don't know if that's the reason why it snapped or I just made it too tight. But what I did do, I ordered a new Gates belt, a better belt, and I ordered a new OEM adjuster, the little adjuster pulley. Hopefully that all should fit right, and I'm praying that I didn't bend any valves. It don't seem like I really did because it was idling. The car wasn't really doing anything, and the way that it died, it seemed like it died pretty slowly. So I'm just trying to keep my hopes up about it. If you look at the cams, this one is pointing, the exhaust is pointing straight up, and this one is pointing to the cabinet of the car. So that's not promising, but I'm just trying to keep my hopes up that I didn't cook this motor. If I did, I mean, just gotta pull it and rebuild it. It needs a rebuild anyway. I just wasn't planning on doing it this soon because it kind of costs a lot, and I'm just trying to save up the money for it. So that would mean that the car will be down for a while again, and I'd rather not have it down that long anymore. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take all this apart. I gotta wait for the parts to come. The adjuster is coming tomorrow, and the belt is supposed to be here in like 4 or 5 days. So I got basically that much time. I'm off work right now, so to do this, so I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna just set y'all up on a tripod, and I'm just gonna time lapse literally me taking this apart. So here we go. My swag is me, if that's a bitch, I'm in the pain. Alright, so I got it all tore down. So what I see is, I believe that the belt was a little too tight. The reason why I made it so tight was because the adjuster right here, it just was not fitting correctly, and in order for me to get the proper tension I needed, I just had to crank down on the tensioner. I had swapped to the manual tensioner, billet tensioner right here. Just crank down on it, and I think I might have made it a little too tight. I don't see any indication of like pulley failure, water pump failure. Even the balance shaft belt is, you know, still good. Cam gears are good. Everything is looking fine. Take a look at the belt. Another way to kind of tell that it might have been too tight is the way that it tore. So it tore from the edge, and like from like it was just like a nasty tear. You can look on this side right here, nasty tear. But if you actually look at the belt, there's no signs of like belt walk or anything. Like the edges aren't frayed. It doesn't look like terrible, but it definitely did snap. Now that is the least of the concern. The main concern when you snap a timing belt is the valves. But I might have got lucky by the way that it snapped. So before I set these to top dead center just now, but before I did that, the intake cam was actually still in time with the crankshaft, and the exhaust cam was facing straight up. Straight up is all valves closed. None of the exhaust cams should have touched any pistons. Hopefully not. I mean, it's still a possibility, but I'm just like trying to think optimistic. So I got a new adjuster coming tomorrow, and then the belt's coming in like 3-4 days. So it's really nothing I could do till I get the belt. So until then, it's just gonna be sitting here, but at least it's ready to basically go once I get the part. And once they come in, it's just time to get to work, put it all back together. I'm gonna get a new valve cover gasket. I think that might have been leaking a little bit, and I mean, I'm just gonna put it back together and hope for the best. So until those come in, I'll see y'all in the next clip. All right, so I'm back in the garage a few days later. This time, I'm not gonna do a time lapse. I kind of just want to work on the car. Plus, this is where I'm finna be working at, so it's gonna be hard to see what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna continue updating with you guys. Right now, I'm finna pop the spark plugs out, get this all back in time. I gotta take this pulley off and replace it. And I gotta unloosen the tensioner right here. See, it's all the way down there. So I'm finna just go ahead and just get to work, see how much I can get done, and I'm gonna just update you guys in the process. All right, so I got the plugs out, the balance belt is off, the pulley is off, and I got the old and the new one right here. So when I installed this one, you can just look at and tell like the cast difference. It looks a little cheaper, but the bottom piece, like right here, it's too big, so I have to grind it down with a angle grinder in order for it to fit. This one looks more OEM for sure, so hopefully that'll solve the issue of why the belt snapped. So now I'm finna just go ahead. This is the assembly process, and one tip I want to give y'all to time your engine. It is a timing mark at the bottom, but you can also just put an extension in the cylinder hole right here and turn it. And once the extension reaches top dead center, it won't go up anymore. It'll just stop, and then it starts to come down. Right before it comes down, that's top dead center. It's gonna be extremely hard to see, but right there, the little key and the little notch on the block, that's supposed to line up. That's top dead center for the pistons. And then for the cam, these arrows pointing straight up. It's also 2 lines right here, and 2 more on the other ends right here. That's literally supposed to go flat with the engine. Now, H22 sits crooked like this, so you have to time it according to that. If you time it like that, it's going to be off, so it has to be timed like that on just a little bit of an angle, because the engine is sitting on the angle. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this timed up, belt on, and just go from there. All right, so I got the motor all timed with the belt on, but as y'all can see, it's walking just a little bit, and I believe that's because that's the idler pulley, a little bit crooked when I put it on. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the night. It's down at 2 in the morning. Come back, I'm gonna untighten this and just readjust the adjuster pulley, and then just test it one more time, make sure we ain't got no walk. After that, it's just putting the engine back together at that point. What I did do off camera, and I forgot to pick the camera up, was I compression test all 4 cylinders. All 4 cylinders was either 150 pounds or above, so engine is good, no bent valves, which is very lucky when you snap one of these belts. So now it's just all about putting it back together. But I'm gonna call it a night because it's 2 in the morning. I'm ready to go in the house. So I'll see y'all in the next clip. All right, so I'm back. It's a new day. I've been working on the car. It's all timed up now, perfect. And this time I did not over tighten it. I basically just used the tension from the belt, just from spinning it over. And then just literally just tighten my manual adjuster right here, just to put some tension on the adjuster pulley right here. So it's not over tight. Definitely a little looser than it was before, but that should be fine. All areas are pretty tight for the most part. Balance shaft belt is even on too. One thing I did notice is ever since I swapped this adjuster pulley out, everything has fit perfect. When I had the old pulley on, which is right here, I had to grind it down. That way it fit just right. But now that I ordered this new basically OEM pulley right here, everything literally fit perfect. So I'm hoping that that was the issue. I also, like I said, didn't have it super tight to make the belt not have too much slack. With this setup right here, I did not have to over tighten it at all, so it's definitely promising. So now I'm about to basically just reassemble the covers, put the engine mount back on, and that's all I can really do right now. I'm waiting on a new valve cover gasket because I'm pretty sure these 2 holes were leaking oil, so I just got some new gaskets on the way, so that should solve that issue. And hopefully tomorrow this car should start and drive out of that door. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start reassembling this cover. Then I'm gonna call it a night. So then tomorrow, final reassembly and start it and get it up out this garage. All right, so I got the car off jack stands. It's not really necessary for it to be on jack stands anymore since all the work I have to do now is under the hood. Covers are back on. I got the harmonic balancer on, engine mounts back on, diff sticks back on. All I have to do is do alternator, power steering, valve cover gasket. Actually put the valve cover on. I think that's it. Put the plugs back in. I want spark plugs in and put the actual coil pack or whatever the fuck you want to call this back in the actual cylinder head, and it should fire right up. So wait till tomorrow. Wait till USPS come with my package, and I also ordered a new fuel filter back here because I don't know when the last time that's been replaced, and I ran 2-year-old gas through this car, so it's probably bad. So I just went ahead and ordered a new one with the valve cover gasket kit, and hopefully it should be driving out tomorrow. I don't know what to say. Just gotta wait to see tomorrow, so we gonna see. All right, so I'm ripping her right now. It definitely feels kind of weird. It's like basically no low end power whatsoever. Like even like trying to get up in it, it just don't seem like the power is really there no more. So I really feel like I might be off a teeth or two with my timing with the belt. So I'm gonna have to literally redo everything I did. But I mean, other than that, I mean, at least it's driving. We got a little exhaust leak now, which sucks. But I mean, the motor still seems fine. Like I didn't damage it from snapping the belt, so that's good. But I think I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap this video up right here. I'm sorry I like didn't actually get the car like running like back to how it was, but at least we know that the engine ain't hurt. Like I'm trying to just drive normal. And like down low, it's like, oh, camera, down low, it's like the power is just not there. So I'm just gonna assume that the timing is off. I'm gonna check the timing and make sure, just to confirm, like to see if it's off or not. I'm probably gonna end up doing that off camera, or it might be in another video, but I feel like this video is kind of all over the place. So I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap it up there. At least the car is running, and I know that it is healthy, at least healthy. But now it's just time to basically just get it dialed back in. So I appreciate y'all watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and